Okay. Just admit it, Johnny. Admit it to me and admit it to Redemption Nation that you gave up tonight after they were down 4-2. Yes, I did. But I think that's gonna stop happening pretty quick here, and I am so glad I have this channel and fan reaction videos to do, so it makes sure I watch the game until the very end. Yep, they showed me something too. Now, don't mind me, but I'm going to get in one more roller coaster ride watching that Forsberg overtime goal before we have to rest up and watch this team play again tomorrow. Whee! Everybody's hands go up, way up, reach the sky like you have never reached before as the Preds come back from multiple deficits to come back and win in a building they don't win in too often. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes by the final of 6-5 in overtime Friday night inside PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. This team, after starting the season 5-10, now has an overall record of 17-13, has won 12 of their last 15. And you have to go way back in the history book to find a time this late into the start of a season that the Preds have taken and not lost in overtime or the gimmick of the shootout. Preds Nation, my heart is still beating 100 times a minute. First off of Lauzon's tying goal, much less Mr. Automatic in overtime, but we'll get to that. Pardon me tonight, Preds Nation. It was a late game. I've got my day job that pays the bills. I love to do this on the side. Maybe I'll make money off of it eventually if I get enough subscribers. But I'm not going to be able to go through 11 goals, much less recap every single goal that the Preds scored. But I'm glad they did. They kept me thoroughly entertained. And just to think, if I told you by the end of this game that the Preds would win 6-5, first of all, yeah, you'd find it amazing that they won by the total of 6-5, but how much money could I get in Vegas if I called them up and said, yeah, the Preds are going to score 6 goals and it will be by 6 different people? This team had just 2 leads, remember, in this game as a whole. The opening goal and then the walk-off goal. They trailed 2-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-3, 5-4 before tying it and then winning it in overtime. Now, just for the loyal watchers and to exude a little bit more energy out of myself, I will do the 2 most important goals of this game. And then I want to sit down and talk about somebody who, yeah, he has been given a little bit of credit, but I think deserves a lot more credit and a little bit more of a showcase for the impact he's had on this team. So, props. This team did not give up tonight, especially after the Canes went up 5-3, and I thought maybe at that point this was dead and buried, and the Preds could just write this off, throw it away, and go back to tomorrow night at home to Washington. This team deserved a mulligan, considering how many games in a compressed schedule they played. But after Nikic made it 5-3, my God, Tyson Barrie, of all people, was able to get a breakaway and cut the lead to 5-4. And I thought, all it takes is 1 in the third period. After the Preds went into the second intermission, just down by 1, I thought all they need is 1. And of this person to get it, oh my God, it must have been a big Vegas prop. And not that I encourage props in Vegas. I'm not sponsored by any betting site. Just over 9 minutes left to go in regulation. Time is running out for the Preds to pull any magic more tonight. Rush into the Canes zone when Juuso Parson passes the puck over to the man who was actually supposed to be scratched if you were following the game day practice this morning. Luke Evangelista is back in the Preds lineup because Keith Sherwood was a late scratch with an upper body injury, while Evangelista, after getting Parsons' pass, gets it back to Jeremy Lauzon. He gets the puck. He has no nervousness to him at all. Beats Antti Raanta. And just like that, my goodness, 9 minutes left to go in regulation. The Preds have this game tied at 5. And then from there, I'm like, are the Preds actually going to somehow pull this out in regulation? Or maybe somehow in overtime? No, I thought, I don't know, part of me is like, no, they're going to run out of gas. It's like 5 goals. Come on. And it's this Carolina team that they never beat in Carolina since UC Saros' 64 save performance last season. And heck, the Canes outshot the Preds 13-8. A lot of those shots must have come in the last quarter of the third period, because I thought for sure one of those points was the Preds were finally going to bend over and lay down and let them score. But minute by minute, second by second, as 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, it's like, oh my God, we're going to overtime again. At least they'll get a point, right? And I never thought that what was about to happen would happen as the clock hit 0, sending this game to overtime. And then to start overtime, Bruno from the bench says, Old Faithful, my favorite 3 guys, go out there and get it. Because the man who scored a 14-second into overtime goal against the Penguins, an 18-second goal into overtime just Tuesday against the Flyers, well, Josi gets the puck to number 9, Filip Forsberg, who skates down into the Canes net. He stops up, skates into the middle between the face-off dots. For some reason, Brett Burns doesn't take the body or anything. It's like, yeah, go ahead, Phil. Go right ahead. Let's see if you can do it again. Philip says, don't mind if I do. Forsberg skates in the middle, snaps it, glove side pass at Dean Renta, and after a 14-second overtime, an 18-second overtime goal, tonight a 33-second overtime goal. Filip Forsberg has 3 overtime goals of his 16 goals scored, and the Preds walk off the Carolina Hurricanes 6-5. Coming into this game, I was ready to throw this one as a mulligan, considering the Preds schedule, and hope that they could just pick it up on the second half of the back-to-back with Saros in net against Washington. But it's good to know that at times when the goaltending is not going to show up on certain nights, and come on, Preds Nation, we know this, historically with this team, historically with any team, you're not going to get goaltending every single night. And tonight, it's nice to know that when you didn't get the goaltending, you didn't need just one of your stars to put the team on his back. This entire team collectively, because of 6 different goal scorers, put the team on their back. Obviously, with their highest paid player doing it in overtime again. One of these days, this team's going to go into overtime and maybe some opponent is going to think, yeah, maybe I should cover number 9. But in the meanwhile, Preds Nation is just going to eat this up with this team, this overachieving team that nobody, probably not a lot of people in the fan base, thought would be this good through 30 games. They're not league leading, division leading, but hey, they're comfortably in a playoff spot right now. And heck, to think, Filip Forsberg is doing all of this and he's not even in a contract year. Now, I teased this on Twitter, and I think I teased this at the beginning of the video. I need to give someone thanks, and so does the fan base as a whole, for where this team is through 30 games in only his first season. Yeah, a little bit to Trotz. We love his mind as coach, so we get to see what he does as GM. But who thought that Andrew Brunette was going to be able to do this with this team this quick? Heck, they started 5-10, and we were worried. Man, were we worried that it was going to take a while for the team to buy in. But he's doing something that Hines never could. Hines was a good defensive coach that the team needed at the time. But Brunette is letting this team move to its natural capabilities on offense. An attacking team, kind of like Laviolette in his first few seasons, and that's fun. That's this team's natural ability with the players on this roster. Andrew Brunette, or Bruno for short, as we have come to coin him in Preds Nation, deserves a lot of credit. And honestly, right now, if the season ended today, this could change. But for Jack Adams, I hate to say this, considering the other 2 people, I would honestly nominate for Jack Adams Peter Laviolette with the Rangers, because I didn't think they would be as good as they are. Rick Tocchet, as much as I hate to say it, living in Canucks Nation, he has to give credit for what he's done with the Canucks through all the games they've played. And could I get some credit without having to pull teeth and beg these hockey writers to look upon Preds Nation and this team right now? Andrew Brunette has got to get some serious Jack Adams discussion for how well this team is performing right now. A team that trailed like they did tonight under John Hines would have folded up the tent and called it a day for sure. There is no way this team would have rallied tonight with John Hines still as coach. That's nothing against John Hines. He's doing wonders with Minnesota with a different lineup. But with this team, he would not have been able to do it. And that's why we changed coaches. But Brunette is getting something fresh and new out of these guys. I hope it's a fun ride home from Raleigh to Nashville International tonight. Let's see what this team can do against the Washington Capitals, who have been very underachieving this year. But they do have the showstopper, number 8, Alexander Ovechkin. Let's see mano a mano, number 8 versus number 9 Florida Preds, Russian against Swedish star. Let's see what these two can do and what kind of show they'll put on Bridgestone Arena ice Saturday evening. So that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media where you can interact with me anytime during Preds games by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption and how awesome of a job Coach Bruno is doing right now with the boys. And rest up, Preds Nation, because believe it or not, your Nashville Predators, who are near the tops in the league in games played, already are playing Game 31 tomorrow night inside Bridgestone Arena against the Washington Capitals.